Hello and welcome to another episode of the Velvet Revolution. My name is Ben Rice. How you doing, Dave? Welcome.
Yeah, hi. I'm good. I'm feeling really good. I'm gonna say what day it is. Fuck it, it's Friday. And I was born on a Friday. Don't know if I've ever mentioned that to you before, but I was born on a Friday at 10 to 2 in the morning,
Mhm.
which is I always say that's like last orders in a nightclub. 10 to 2. But yeah, I naturally I just love Fridays.
Okay.
I mean, I've said that just the other day actually on one of the other recordings, but hey ho, I'm just saying it again. Fuck it. Anyone listening, there are crossovers on what we talk about. We're just two human beings trying to record content. We are going to repeat ourselves. You don't have someone going through all these editing going, oh, no, you can't say that. You said that last time.
I didn't actually formally introduce you. You are Dave Noble.
Oh,
So yeah, there you go. I didn't actually
yeah.
repeat myself.
No worries. I can answer to whatever. You can dress me as whatever you want, mate. But yeah, I'm really good. I'm feeling good. It's been a busy week.
Hmm.
I've got a lot of work stuff going on. Nature of my work is calamity is quite a good word. There's a lot of calamities going on, a lot of cluster fudges going on.
You
Uh,
you you raining back on swearing today again?
I don't know, might mix it up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of fudge clusters going on,
Hmm.
or cluster fudges. So yeah, work's been quite heavy, full on, but mixing out with lots of rest, R&R, doing all the good stuff I need to do to keep me sane and safe and mellow. So yeah, life's good, and I've just completed actually this morning. I've been working on a song, been getting really into songwriting again, and I think it's like when you when you're immersed in a project, you know this one as a fellow creative, you kind of only have, or I do, only have the capacity to focus on one sort of project. Like for me, it was the book for 7 years.
Hmm.
Now I'm out of that, and I've got another book I've started writing, but I've parked that up. Excuse me, I've parked that up because I'm a bit bored of writing books, if I'm honest. So I've got back into writing tunes, um, and I've really got into these sort of like lullaby. My brother does a wicked lullaby. Um, he's done the theme tune. It's a lullaby, in my opinion. But I do it as well. I love writing little lullabies, little licks, which are just really beautiful and mellow and soothing. And for me, it's meditation.
Hmm.
And I've just completed what I've been playing around with it. It's like a jigsaw puzzle writing, I feel. Just getting all the words, whether it's a book or a poem or poetry or a song or whatever. It's just for me it's like a puzzle, just getting it all slotted in. Anyone that writes might relate to that. So I've just completed my puzzle this morning and I'm really proud of it. And yeah, I mean I just love doing it as a process.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm happy. I'm really good. What about you, mate?
Yeah, where am I at? I just can't get my sleep sorted at the moment. Like I went to bed really early last night. I
Mm.
must have been about nine, half nine. I read for about an hour, and then passed out. Next thing I knew, it was like half two in the morning, and I was just wide awake. Um, so yeah, then I was just sort of, I don't know. I read somewhere that it's like it's not actually that good an idea to lie in bed if you're not asleep. Not
Mm.
sitting there thinking about it. So I got up, made myself a cup of sleepy tea, and yeah, and then yeah, just read a few more bits and pieces and tried to sort of calm my mind. But I just yeah didn't feel like I went back to sleep properly. When you wake up and you're just like this isn't quite right. This isn't yeah. So I'm feeling a little bit frazzled,
What
not too
can I ask
much.
you? Can I ask you what is sleepy tea?
It's you can buy it from the supermarket. It's one of the are we name checking? If I name check a label that make tea, do you think they might send us loads of tea?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
it's not.
you can have it all because you clearly are using it.
There's it's a Twinings tea.
Okay.
It's yeah, it's called sleep tea. I'm not quite sure what's in it, but yeah, it's a mellow herbal tea that sort of is meant to make you sleep. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it had no
Yeah.
effect because I stayed up
Uh,
and didn't really sleep properly. But yeah, it's not like a dramatic. Oh, take a cup of this and suddenly you're zonked out.
yeah.
Just helps chill you out a little bit.
It's not like something any parents listening, if you've got whining kids, then get them on the old the special tea brew.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work. No.
There's other ways.
Yeah.
There's other formulas you can
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
use. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just yeah, I just wish I could go to bed and sleep through and then wake up and feel refreshed. And it's very rarely that happens for me.
Well, if I lived near to you, I could always come swing round with like a big cricket bat and just clump you over the head with it every
Oh,
night.
I thought you were going to talk about your lullabies and your soothing. Oh no, you went to violence straight away.
It's where my head goes sometimes. It's only a thought. It's all right to think these things. It's if you
Yeah,
act out
yeah,
on them.
yeah. Doesn't make you a psychopath at all.
No, no, no. Um, yeah, or bring a guitar and I'll sing you a lullaby.
Yeah, yeah. Either one is slightly creepy, but we'll
Yeah.
yeah. I think we'll yeah, I just my sleep hasn't been right for years. Um it's a funny one. And then, and you read all these pieces about you must have 8 hours of sleep every night. And then you go to sleep or you go to bed and I stress about the fact I've got to get 8 hours, I've got to get 8 hours, like, it's like 10:30 now, which means I've got to sleep till 6:30. And it's all of those things. Yeah, I just need to not worry about it and just sleep when I sleep.
Yeah. I've said this before. I know I've definitely mentioned this before about for me, the sleep hack is to, um, yeah, when you're lying there and your head's a bit busy and you're just stressed out about it, it's just to sort of catch yourself as quick as possible and just bring your focus back to like your body rather than like I feel like we try and I don't know about you, but if I have that restless night, it's kind of like it's in my head. It's my head which is
Mm,
restless, not so much my body. You know, back in the day when I used to do copious amounts of everything, um, um, that saying, it's like break dancing in bed because you can't sleep because your
mhm.
body, you're off your nut. But it's not that, for me it'd be an active mind, which I rarely get, but um, when I'm going to bed. But it's more like focusing on the body and how's my body feel. It's like doing a body scan. And I don't know if you've ever tried that, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
really it does help, I believe,
yeah.
anyway, just to go, look, my mind might be a bit busy, but let me just scan my body and focus on, what does it feel like? It's so nice to be in this bed. I feel really like at least my body's still and I'm just resting my body and just remembering my body's resting. My head will catch up in a bit. And normally that works for me and I'll just drift off.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I think I just get a very, very busy mind. And
Mm.
it's interesting, like you said earlier, about the creative sort of process. Like I find like at the moment I'm writing a lot, but I'm also drawing quite a bit and painting.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm doing stuff on like on the computer as well. So there's loads of bits. There's loads of bits of projects. And I find it very difficult to like work down a list and go, right, I'm going to finish item one today, and then I'm going to do item two. It's like I'll do a little bit of this, do a little bit of writing, then I might do a bit of drawing, and it's really I find it really hard to work in that sense of I'm going to complete this task now, then this task. My mind doesn't work like that. It just sort of jumps around. And I might be in the middle of doing something and I'm going, oh, this is the next thing I need to work on, or I need to do this bit now, which is why I end up having hundreds of unfinished things.
Spinning plates, as they say,
Yeah, yeah,
spinning lots of plates and trying to keep them all spinning.
yeah.
That sounds a bit of a I don't wanna say it. Actually, I'm not gonna say it because but it's, there's a certain diagnostic for that scattergun attention span.
Hmm.
Well, I will say it's ADHD, basically,
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
variant of AD behavior, that I've witnessed, come across, maybe experienced myself, who knows? But um, what you're describing sounds a bit like that.
yeah. Like, I don't know if you have this when you're reading. Like when I read a book, I will. I have to be in a really sort of quite a really calm, peaceful place. Like holidays is one of the times where I can like read loads of books.
Hmm.
But there's quite often I'll be reading a book and I'll be like, I'll have read, I don't know, a couple of pages, and suddenly I'm like, I have got no idea what happened on those pages because my mind is thinking about something completely different and I'm somewhere else, even though I'm in the process of reading a book. Um, so yeah, I find reading can be exhausting to try and keep the focus.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this because I want to. Is a lot of books, because the nature of manufacturing of books, publishing and production of books, they. I'm biased because I've self-published and I've been had the freedom, creative freedom to produce a piece of literature that isn't like what I'm saying,
Hmm.
which is really, if you suffer with what you're talking about, it's really fucking shit to read a book where it's all crammed in. All of the words are so crammed and small on the page. It just looks like a block of of text, which it
Mm.
is. And it's quite uninspiring to read, to actually
Mm.
engage in those words, because it's just, and the reason they do it is the bottom line.
Yeah, yeah.
So they can cram it, so it's less, it's cheaper, it's a cheaper unit cost to print those books. So, the luxury of having bigger words, space, making it look a little bit more reader friendly goes a long way in reading books, for me anyway.
Mm.
Um,
I was reading a book by a poet called Maggie Smith, and she's wrote really um, yeah, some really amazing poetry. But she's also written a book about how to write and sort of gives loads sort of inspiration and loads of ideas about what it is to write. And because she's a poet, she is using the space as well as the text,
yeah,
and it's
there you go.
so different to. And it's because my mind wants to race through it. I'm reading a poem, and she's put some sort of thoughts, as to how I should read this poem because this is how she's written it. And you're going, like my mind does, my mind just goes. I've just read the whole poem. And she's like, well, no, it's a massive, massive space of paper there, so
Well,
that's a gap. You've got to give your head time to read the words it's just read,
yeah,
and it's really interesting because yeah, I don't think I think about how I read that often. I often think I'm not very good at reading because my mind gets really distracted. So yeah, it's a really interesting book and a really
yeah.
interesting concept, as you said about. And I know your book does that. It has spaces and it has text of different sizes, and it makes you think about the words.
And pause.
Yeah.
So how many days did it take for you to read said book, my book? How many days?
Oh yeah, I read yours in about 4 days.
There you go. And then, so if that was a book that was all crammed in with, like, with all those compressed, bland typesetting, the way it's formatted, it's just blocky. It's really
Mm.
blocky. There's no space, there's no gaps. That would have taken, because it's a big book.
It is. Yeah.
So it would have taken longer. Is it fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you might have not retained all the information.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying, and what you said, it's the same as music. The gaps in the music are what make the music that fills the gaps even better. It enhances the music when you've got gaps, when you've got space to breathe within the music.
The greatest song ever, as far as I'm concerned, is "I Am the Resurrection," and it's all made by that 2 second gap in the middle where you're
Yeah,
like, "Has it stopped?"
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There you go. Anyway, getting all deep and pensive.
there you go. That's what happens.
Straight out the gate.
Tired. I'm getting deep. Feeling philosophical.
No,
Yeah,
but this is symbolic to life, man. Is your life just a block, a page, a block of bland words that you get lost in? And you look at it and you think, I can't even get into that. It's just, there's already a block, because you're like, I can't, I'm like that. I'm like, that does not appeal to me to want to look at that or read it.
yeah, yeah.
And, you know, is your, life can be like that. It's symbolic, I believe. We need space. We need we need it to be engaging, appealing. We need space. We need to just breathe, man. Anyway, um, let's get on from this. Let's
Okay,
move
let's
on.
find a letter and a word for today. What we're on S, I believe.
S for shizzle.
Shizzle. And it's my turn to choose. Oh my god, there's a lot of S's.
I'm not going to look. I'm going to leave you to lose yourself in all the S's. And do you want to? Can you read them out,
Yeah, yeah.
please?
So sarcasm, selfish, shame, self-righteous, sympathy, suffering. That's just the first column. Suspicious, stress, sadness, self-important, self-centered, self-defeating, self-hatred, self-seeking, selfless, supportive, serene, safe, secure, sabotaging, shy, slothful, spiteful, stubborn, sullen, superior, serious, sincere, and skillful.
Wow, that is.
That's a list, isn't it?
You could do a whole piece, like a whole.
Season on just that, can we?
Well, I just don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot in there, and they're all very, very, very good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love to cover all of them.
Okay.
I,
Well,
I literally was doing a little ding, ding, ding to each one, like, yep, yep, yep. Relate, relate. Yeah, I know about that one. I know about that one.
Hmm. Where am I at today? Um, I am feeling
Spiteful.
spiteful. Stubborn, sullen, superior, serious. Where am I feeling? I am feeling. I don't know. Uh, don't know whether it's. I'm gonna go.
What? Go with your heart, man, not your head.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
I,
just,
I'm gonna go safe. Or yeah.
safe.
Hmm.
Is that on there? The word?
Yeah.
Did you read that? Safe. SAFE.
Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah.
As in street terminology for.
It's a really
What was?
cool.
Yes. Let's let's do safe, man. Let's see where we go with safe. Safe. I'm surprised there's a lot in there, and I don't know why I thought safe was a strange
Well,
choice.
I mean, maybe it's a you. I mean, I am. I guess it's because I'm questioning safety. I guess that's where I'm at.
Safe.
That's
Okay,
why it
so
spoke to me. I felt a lot recently about those about feeling safe and feeling contained and feeling in the right place. And I think at the moment, because of because of my current ailment and not being in a routine, I don't feel particularly contained and particularly safe. I feel there's a sort of wildness and a randomness to my life. Hence the fact I'm waking up at 2:30 in the morning and having a cup of tea and reading a book for an hour. Yeah. So I think that's where that's why that yeah, you said go with my heart. So that's why I went safe.
okay, great, beautiful. Makes sense. Okay. Um, I'm excited about doing this one
Okay.
because it is like it is. I like things that are out of the box and
Hmm.
safe. You know, um, it's a question we could ask. I can ask myself it, and we can ask everyone it. Do you feel safe?
Mm.
Like you just sort of, I guess, ask yourself that um, whilst explaining what you just explained. Do I feel safe in my current situation in life? Do I feel safe? Do we feel safe? I mean, is the world safe right now? Are we? So it's a good one, and there's so many ways we can go off on different what's the word? We can go
Tangents.
off tangents. Yeah, we can go off on different tangents. I'm gonna look up what the bird. I'm gonna look up what it means in the book of words
Hmm.
because I want to. Because to me, it's just got so many different sort of connotations to it. Um, Historically, I didn't feel insecurity is a lack of safeness, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I was hugely insecure for a huge proportion of my formative years. I feel the opposite now. If you can ask yourself the question, I always say this to young mavericks, right? So switch safe, the word safe for trust,
Yeah.
right? Because I always say this, it's a huge, for me, it's like the marker,
Mm-hmm.
it's like an indicator. Ask yourself, and people listening, ask yourself this question: do you trust yourself? Now, if it's an unfaltering yes, I do, without actually having to think about it, and you're like, yeah, I do, then you know you're good. And
Mm-hmm.
I can say that about myself. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I trust myself. In any situation in life that I find myself in, wherever I go, I know I can rely on my um, who I am as a person, you know, and what I behold to do the right thing in any situation. I may not have the answers, right? And a huge part of that creates safety.
Yeah.
Even though you might be in a very volatile situation, you're going to be okay, no matter what happens in life. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really interesting concept. Is the idea of do you feel safe
Yeah,
with yourself?
yeah. Because
Because I always,
mm,
I think I went straight to sort of uh, ex- exterior factors. I sort of went to stuff that can, the monster under the bed or whatever. It's what is it that makes you feel unsafe?
am I safe taking this here wound of mine, which is attached to my area? Am I safe to go out in public with this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's going to happen?
Am I going to let myself down?
Am I going to make a mess
Yeah,
somewhere? I don't know. Yeah. It's so easy to look outside of ourselves when we relate to things. So that's what I asked the young Mavericks. Like now, early on, most of them say no, I don't, and I'm like, it's okay.
mm,
That's the right answer because I'll be suspicious if you said yeah, I do,
yeah, yeah,
right? Because we're working on building that sense of trust, right? But I always say to them, when you wake up one day and just go, I can answer that, yeah, I do, then you're good. You're sorted.
yeah,
That's it. You're good to go. You
yeah,
know, you're set for life because
yeah,
I believe that once you get that sense of um, when you embody that real strong heightened sense of trust, and with that comes faith. I'm not talking about some sort of supreme out of body faith connection, although in a way it can be, and it's not to say it isn't. But I'm talking about faith in yourself, belief, self belief, faith that you're okay,
hmm,
and it's all interlinked, in my opinion, to a sense of safety.
yeah. I mean, the first thing that or one of the first things I thought of when I think of safe is the movie Safe, which was Todd Haynes
I was going to say
directed it.
Jason
No,
Statham.
not that one.
It sounds like a Jason Statham.
Yeah, no, it's got Julianne Moore in. So I remember seeing it when I was much younger, and it's basically it's this she lives in this very sort of, I think it might be LA, but she lives in this very serene, very well-to-do, affluent neighborhood, and she has everything she wants. But she starts to experience panic, anxiety. Sort of, her body she starts to get nosebleeds. She starts to feel really breathless, and it's like her body actually starts to let herself down, and she's no longer safe, even just with herself. And she's like checking the washing powder, and she's checking the soap in the shower gel. Is it some sort of chemical? She's looking for answers as to what it might be, because the doctors are just like, you're fine. But she's just like, she's completely, yeah, just completely let down by the environment and her body, and so she's no longer safe. And I think that goes back to what you were saying in terms of that feeling safe in yourself. And
Mm.
I think there's a lot of people that can share that sort of, I don't feel safe. I have an anxiety. I have a worry. I have a concern. Whatever. There's that. You know, I am not going to be able to go and do this. It's debilitating. It's literally the point where I'm not going to. I mean, in that film, it's really extreme. And I won't tell you what happens in the end, but I mean, she's completely debilitated by this unknown sort of ailments and diseases.
Is she been on crystal meth pipe?
I don't think she has. She's a, it's all very well to do, sort of. It's not self-induced. It's not
Oh,
drug induced.
so she weren't taking too many mushrooms.
No, no, she hasn't sort of gone psychotic. It's just that that idea that actually we can let ourselves down.
Mm.
Our bodies are strong and our bodies will do everything
Mhm.
they can to survive.
Yep.
And I think the opposite of that is like, people that do daredevil stunts and jump off buildings and like how much confidence must you have that your body is totally fine and you're okay that you can. I've never
Yeah.
done a bungee jump. Have you done a bungee jump?
I don't wanna do one because I'm a bit concerned that, 'cause I just think that that jolt, I'm worried it's
Yeah.
gonna jolt my back,
Yeah.
you know? I've jumped out of airplanes, so
Have you?
I'm all yeah, I'm all for doing something crazy like that.
And
I
what goes through your head when you jump out of a plane?
fuck, what have I done? No, it wasn't, it was the opposite, it was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was pretty trippy to do that, you know? You've got to psychologically you've got to be able to meet that experience with calmness and, and
I'm sweating even thinking about it. So it's
okay.
just
Yeah, I mean, it's 'cause I wanted to combat my aversion to heights, and that's
right.
why I did it, and
Okay.
I did it, and I wanna do another one, and I'll do another one, but bungee jumps, I just think there's something a bit it's just a jolt, because when you do a skydive, you're free falling, it's incredibly amazing. It's just so good, and then when the chute gets ripped and you go, it's not really a jolt. It's
Okay.
sort of like a jolt in your nappy area because 'cause you're sort of in this giant nappy.
Hmm.
Um, which I will be getting you on the letter XYZ. When we get to Z, I'm gonna get you one of these if you need one. But, yeah, I don't know, it's a bit more kinder on the body, I feel.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm chatting shit because 'cause I've
So did you
never
completely trust the process? Was it, I mean, like, as you said, you had to get your head in the right space, and you had to feel totally safe and totally trustworthy to jump out of a plane. I don't know how high is it to jump out of a plane? What
I
how
was doing it at I think it was either 15 or 18,000 feet, I can't remember which one it was. Um, and we free falled for about 45 minutes to 50, um, not 45 minutes. What am I talking about?
Wow,
We
it's
did it
impressive.
from outer space, just
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
edge of the
yeah.
hemisphere. No, it was 45 seconds, sorry, or something like that.
Okay.
It's maximum 60 seconds free fall.
Right.
It was incredible. But what I was sharing earlier, to some degree, I've got this strong sense of faith that I'm held, that
By
I'm
whom?
by life.
Okay.
Now, some people might call that God. I choose to just see it as I just feel held by life. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just I can't. No human words can explain that because I've been in this headspace, this mindset. It's a mindset of like I used to feel the opposite. I didn't feel like I trusted myself. You couldn't trust me. I couldn't trust me. I feel, hugely insecure, not safe at all, you know, and um, it was debilitating. And now, I don't need to bore anyone, like I've done a lot of things that have all helped me get to a place where I have a strong sense of trust, safety, and faith in that. And part of that is I just feel held by life. you know? And it all started for me when I was up on that mountain, on that high mountain range, where I feared for my life, where I thought I was gonna fall off of a a sheer vertical drop on a mountain goat path thing, where I had no clips. It's completely out of my depth with it. It was real sort of crazy that I was up there, but I did it, and I froze up and I had a terror attack. So from that point, I endeavoured to face this. I needed to look at. I didn't feel safe in that situation, and that was rational because it wasn't safe, in my opinion. So I thought I need to firstly, if I ever go up something like that again, I need to take the correct equipment to do it, so I am safe. And I could have probably,
Not flip flops.
yeah, yeah,
Flip
yeah,
flops were
yeah,
wrong, Dave.
yeah, yeah. And then and also I wanted to look at my aversion to heights, to feel like I wanted to face heights, situations where I could face my fears, and that's why I jumped out of a plane. And through doing that, I felt it just enhanced my sense of sort of I feel held. To do that made me feel like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't know if that makes sense. It does to me, and it's really empowering.
Yeah, I mean, one of my issues. I went to see a friend at, last weekend. She was staying up in Milton Keynes, and she'd rented an Airbnb, and it was on the 10th floor of this block, and it was one of those apartments that just had glass as
Mhm.
the walls on the corner. And Saturday was really, really hot, and so she had this pane, like one of the panes of glass was actually completely open with
Yeah.
just a sort of barrier in front of it saying "Do not jump."
Mhm.
And we were 10 floors up, and I was just sweating. Couldn't I mean, I was sweating because it was hot, and I was sweating because there was this massive drop, and it was just glass, and I was like, I I think part of it for me is I have this. It's almost like a tractor beam. I almost feel like pulls towards this. I almost want to jump.
It's called Call to the Void.
Is it?
I think it's called Call to the Void. There's actually everyone has it.
So what
There's
is
this
that?
Pull to the Void or Call to the Void. I don't know. Maybe we need to look it up and search it. But there's this famous spot in Norway. I forgot what
Right.
it's called. I know a couple of people that have been,
Hmm.
and I kind of want to go myself. It's insanely high up.
Okay.
One of the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible films was filmed there. This
Right.
scene with where they're having a fight on the edge of it. It's insane if you watch the film because it's so high up, and they actually did it. Henry Cavill, is it Henry Cavill? I can't remember his
Oh,
name.
yeah, the last Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But in this, it was the Mission Impossible film with Tom Cruise, and they're having a
Right.
fight. They're having a bit of a scrap on the edge of
Okay.
this freaking thing. Now, if you go onto the internet and search this place and look at people who they talk about it, there's a draw to it. You want to go to the edge, and it's something that just it's a bit of a weird thing that us humans have, where in theory you shouldn't want to go anywhere near it.
Mm.
Now, some people won't. I know my mum, if I couldn't even get her up there, but if she was there, she would be clinging on to, she'd be lying down on the floor right at the back going, no, I'm not moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's called Call to the Void or Pull to
Yeah.
the Void.
I've just found it. One second. It is
What's it
a
called?
Call of the Void.
Call of the Void.
And excuse my French, or l'appel de vide in French, refers to the sudden, often unexpected urge to do something dangerous, like jumping from a high place or swerving into oncoming traffic, even though the person experiencing it doesn't actually want to die. It's
Yeah.
also known as the high place phenomenon,
Yeah.
uh, and
And
it's a common, often fleeting experience.
yeah. Now, anyone listening, do you relate to what we're talking about?
Mm,
Because it is quite apparently it is something that a lot of humans naturally we have. It's part of
mm,
our DNA, unless you are so frozen, fight, flight, freeze, as we all know, I think. What do you do when you feel unsafe? Do you want to just get the hell out of there, or do you freeze up? Like I just said about my mum, she would freeze. She'd just be
mhm,
like, and that's what I did. I froze on the mountain edge. That's what
mm.
happened, right? Or do you try and go into your fight mode where you just want to you know, it's all right, I've got this, you know, and you step up. Um,
So does that come from a place of like emotional security and confidence? So someone like Tom Cruise, who just is insane and will do, like that stunt. It does all his own stunts, but the one I think of always is the one from the Mission Impossible where he's on the is it what's the tallest building in is it
Malay,
Saudi or
Saudi,
where?
yeah, that's terrifying to
Yeah,
watch that scene.
and he apparently hit his head as he's going through this opening. Like, I mean, I saw something the other day, which was I think it was Simon Pegg or one of the people who are starring in the film with it, and he said, "Oh yeah, yeah." So he said, "So what goes through?" Oh no, that was it. It was Matt Damon, and Matt Damon was asking him about the stunts, and he said, "Well, the first thing I do is I check with the stunt guy." And he said, "So I checked with the stunt guy about the stunt. He said, I want to jump through this window on the highest building in the world." And the stunt guy said, "No, it's too dangerous." He said, "So I sacked the stunt guy. I got a new stunt guy." And it's like there's like a supreme confidence there that he
Yeah.
can do that. And the same as like there's that the people that climbers who I'd love to climb. I think it's incredible sort of
Mhm.
love to be that sort of that way inclined and that confident in terms of heights. When they climb over, I don't know, 5 6 days. There's
Mhm.
there's a really good documentary where they're climbing this sheer face that's never been sort of climbed before in
Yeah.
America,
On
and then they camp, they sleep, like they
on
put that
on the edge. Yeah.
with the tent like just pinned to the wall,
Yeah.
and they wake up in the morning and they're just sitting in a tent having breakfast and just a sheer drop below them. I
Yeah.
mean, where does that? I mean, that's the complete opposite of where I would be. And does that come from like a complete emotional security, like such a confidence in yourself that I'm confident I can do this and nothing's going to go wrong, and I'm not worried about the consequences if I do fall off and kill
Yeah.
myself. I mean, it's the bottom line is definitely like a not a fear of death almost,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I mean, it's the way they're wired. It's like it's almost like the way they calculate experiences. It's the way they're wired. Now, I think there's some diagnostics, and I'm not going to name them, but on the spectral
Mm.
chart, if you want to call it that, that would lend itself to that mindset where, you know, there's no real sense of, you know, well, what's wrong with this? Why
Yeah,
why are you so? They just don't feel their brain doesn't calculate experience in the same way
yeah.
as ordinary people, if you bloody want to call it. Now, I love that. I think it's amazing. It's what makes people great.
Mm.
It's what makes it's inspiring to what you are saying. I've seen that film. I know exactly who you mean. I know
Didn't
exactly
he lose a finger or something as well? So he's
tip of
like
his
he's
finger. Yeah, he's
yeah,
British, and then it's the other guy. I forget their names, but they're good mates. They're pioneers in what they do, and it's to me it is insane. But I also look at it and go, "Wow,
yeah,
amazing! It's inspiring," and it's like they push the gauntlet. They show us that anything is possible, like Tom Cruise. Like, you know, just because someone says you can't do that doesn't mean you can't do it.
yeah,
And if you've got this innate sense of trust in your ability to make it happen and that self belief, which is so steely that no is not in your, you know, it's not conceivable. And someone says no, it's like, but you can do it. I know I can do this. Now, to any normal, numpty, rational, whatever you want to call it, person, sorry to use the word numpty, you know what I mean? Just ordinary people that just see things linear.
yeah,
It's insane and stupid, and it is impossible.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, well, you keep telling yourself that then. You keep doing your life the way you do it. Let these guys and girls or whoever's do it their way and show you that it is possible because it is. Like, and I behold some of those, and I'm going to use the word qualities. They're qualities, man. And they're for everyone. It's mindset. Always comes down to mindset. If you believe something's possible, then it is, in my opinion.
if you believe.
If you believe, right? Now, what makes the difference between someone that believes and someone that's a non-believer? Now, you could get into this whole debate around you know, is God real? Is God not real? are you a believer or a non-believer? It's the same thing. If people believe in something, they believe in it.
Mhm.
So let them have it. You know what I mean? And if someone doesn't believe in it, let them have that as well.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't have to be so black and white. It's like, it's okay to not believe and it's okay to believe in anything.
It's okay to be unsure and be in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and not be sure yet. And maybe you was a believer and now you're not a believer, or maybe
Mm.
you're a stern non-believer, but you're open to maybe believing, but you haven't got the evidence yet that it's real.
All I can think of is that tent they pin on the side of the mountain, and the belief they must have in those pegs in the rock. I mean, it wouldn't just be it wouldn't just be me waking up at 2:30. I would not sleep. I would just be lying there going, "That peg's going to come out at any moment. That peg's going to."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I can't. It's not comparable, but let me share what I did in. It was in January. I was in Scotland, not Scotland. I thought I was in Scotland. I was up in off the east coast of England,
Mm-hmm.
Norfolk, with. I was on an assignment with a young maverick,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working, collaborating with my dear friend Callum and Henry, who I'd not worked with before, two ex-Royal Marines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's an absolute joy and a pleasure to be collaborating with these guys because I love it. And um my little inner child always goes into a world of fantasy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the third Royal Marine here. So I always go into that sort of like, fantasy that I'm actually a Royal Marine. Secretly. No,
Yeah,
I do tell Henry and Callum that. And
and they laugh.
yeah. No, they actually said you would have you would have done well.
Oh, okay.
Because I held up, man, and
Yeah,
I'm proud of that, man.
yeah, yeah.
Because so what we did, we went when Callum first announced, because they never really disclose what the assignment is, because it's all about dislocation for the young maverick. So
Okay.
like, all of the details are pretty non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like literally all I knew was that we're going to be um on an old and it is an old boat, that because Henry runs this sort of does expeditions on these old boats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it had no cabin,
Right.
and it was a wooden boat,
Okay.
really nice boat. It's all
Mm.
reconditioned. Had no cabin on it,
Right.
right? Honestly, it had no cabin. It's a flat top. I can't remember what they call them, elk boats, fishing boats. Can't remember. It's an old fishing boat with no cabin on it. January off the
Okay.
east coast on the North Sea, right?
Right.
And I just knew we was going to be on a boat.
Okay.
Out on the ocean, right, for the night.
Right.
And that's what happened. And we spent the night and the day before leading up to the night, then the night, and then we sort of had the morning and we sort of sailed back. That night it dropped, temperature dropped to, I think it was about -5, -6 or 7, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It snowed. It was really blowing a hoolie out, man. It was icicles. Right? And it was pretty sketchy. And it was
Yeah.
lashing with like sleety, icy sludge, snow, rainy, but it was horrible. And the only protection we had was a tarpaulin over the bed. Over the bed? Yeah, literally our bed was it was a tarpaulin stretched over us. We had a wood burner on the top, but that went out about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And it was that sort of thing of like leading up to it, I was like, I'm not sure I want to do this. I'm not sure I want to do this. I'm not sure I can do this. But then I was like, I can do it. I can do it. I know I can. I can do it. And I'm going to do it. So I went in with the mindset of, I can do this. I can do this. Right. And I got through. We all got through as a unit. And it was really hard. And the only way to know how hard that was to be on that boat with me
Mm-hmm.
when we did it. But have I given you enough information to make you think it could have been quite challenging?
Yep.
Yeah. And there was other elements like to use the loo. I mean, not talking about number one here. You had to get off the boat, you had to get on another boat, row to shore to. It was just like, because it was moored just off the coast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's choppy. It was a crazy, incredible experience that I got through by believing that I could get through it.
Hmm.
All right. Some people listening will be like, "What's he talking about? It's nothing, man. I've done this, I've done that." It's like, okay, well, great. But for me, it was a challenge, and I got through it. Perception. I believed in it. I trusted as well. I trusted my own ability to do it, and I trusted the people I was with, which is quite key. And I trusted far greater than that because you've got to trust. You're working with the ocean. You're working with the elements, man, and they can take you out.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of trust involved in it. Yeah.
So, I mean, we've talked about really quite extreme. We've got very extreme in our sort of
Uh,
where we feel safe.
I know. I know.
But I think there is a way of, like, I think basic safety. Excuse me. Sorry, just even thinking about, like, like feeling warm and fed, and I think that safety of our existence and where we come from, and I think there is a lot of people who don't feel safe even in those basic elements. And I think it's a building block, isn't it? I
Mm,
think that's where, like, I think if you've got a lot of security around you, a lot of trust and a lot of faith, then you can work your way up to these massive sort of
yeah.
uh you know things that you can do, like these extremities that you can do. But I think even for some people, it's like getting up in the morning doesn't feel safe.
Mm,
Like, I think from an emotional sort of perspective, I think, I just think it's really tough to even just walk down the street.
yeah. And just to give you contrast, what I just shared, obviously I was with Henry, Callum. They're they're Royal Marine dudes, man.
Hmm.
So you're gonna feel safe.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But then the contrast to that on the other end of that spectrum is I never, there's no way I could have got through that formative years. There's no way. I wouldn't have even signed up to it. I wouldn't even be there. Like I couldn't. I was what you just said. Just me getting out of my bed and going, "Oh God, I've got to do this again," was too much for me.
And was it coming from, for you? Was it a place of I don't feel safe? Were you aware of that sensation? Because for me, I feel like a large part of my life, I was kind of blinkers on. I was kind of
Mm.
unaware, and I was acting out and doing what I did without any understanding that there was a lack of safety.
Mm. Um. So insecurity. Where does insecurity come from? Lack of
Hmm.
safety. Where does mine come from? For me, I always felt insecure from early in life. I think when you have a family that sort of disbands, my dad left, you know, at a time where I found that quite challenging.
Hmm.
Um, he was still present, but not in the house. And then there's until I chose to cut him out, which was you know I had to live with that, but I've made amends, and now we've got such a beautiful friendship and relationship. It's just beautiful. I'm so blessed to have, made up for it. And my dad feels that as well. So it's really beautiful. It's lovely. It's come good. But at the time, early life, that was there. So that's, of course, I need to share that because that's where the insecurity is coming from. Is when you're young, you don't really comprehend and understand why, parents took they fall out of love, whatever, for whatever reason they choose to not live together or separate. For me as a young person, I couldn't understand that, so that's where my insecurity came from. I felt quite insecure over that situation naturally, you know. So that's for me. That's without processing that and understanding it. If I had maybe had a different reaction to that situation early life, would I have gone through life feeling unsafe?
Hmm.
Maybe not. I don't know. but I did, and that's how I felt. So that's the main reason why I'm carrying this deep sense of insecurity around with me in my life. And the irony is that I'm recreating. No, no one's doing it for me. I'm recreating situations. I'm putting myself in places where I'm hugely at risk and unsafe because it's almost like it's what I knew. It's like it's a strange thing that we do that
Mm,
that I did that, but that's what I did.
mm,
You know, it's like I was almost like sabotaging. It's like self decimation.
mm.
I feel insecure, so guess what? I'm gonna put myself in lots of really risky, dangerous situations in my life and perpetuate a great and heightened sense of insecurity. It's nuts, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. That not knowing what feels safe.
Yeah.
And that and I'm just trying to think from my own perspective as to what, the world for me has got, and I'm not talking about political or, the rubbish that's going on at the moment, but as I've got older, I felt that the safety has kind of been stripped away. That I've felt more unsafe as I've got older.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you what can yeah, keep going.
Um I think I lived my early years, there was an anxiety there, and the anxiety I would guess started, I mean, I can think of episodes when I was maybe 7 or 8, but I think really proper anxiety attacks started maybe when I was about 17, 18, and so the anxiety was always there.
Uh,
I felt a certain containment, I think, within that,
mhm.
and it's as I've got older, I think some of the truths that I sort of held on to have kind of been stripped away. And I can't really be more specific than that. But it things that I thought were true about me have turned out to not be true. And I, I've talked before about, my having a breakdown. Some people call them spiritual awakenings. I mean, it was pretty low. And I think so from my perspective, I can look at a lot of my friends and family, and there is a lot of depression there. And my perspective of my part in that was that I was the sort of stronger, uh, I was the person that was coping, and I was the person that could do, I could help these people, and I felt very much like that was my role. And what has happened, I think, since having a breakdown myself and actually going, oh yeah, I'm probably got depression too, and I've
Mm,
probably got this and I've probably got that. And, I don't want to self diagnose, but I also don't want to sit on a waiting list for 6 years to be told I've got something that I'm not going to take medication for. So
yeah.
I don't know. And I know there's a lot of that out there at the moment of people going, well, I might have this and I might have that. And I just think this is no one's neurotypical. No one's neuronormal. It's everyone has their own neuro map in their heads, and I think I just yeah, there's traits of autism, traits of ADHD, in lots of people. But I
Mm,
think that knowledge for me uh has got more in the past 10 years, say.
mhm,
um and that noise, like trying to describe what it's like for reading for me, or trying to describe what's going on in your head to other people is really, really hard, because I think for a lot of my life, I just assumed, well, everyone thinks like this, don't they? This is what
yeah,
everyone is like. This is what everyone's upbringing is like. This is what you have that. I mean, even going back as being an art teacher. So it took me quite a while to realize not everyone likes art. For me, that was my happy place. I'll go and draw. I'll go and make something. That was be creative. That was like you were talking about earlier, you like writing a song, it just chills you out. I can lose hours just sitting there drawing.
Yeah.
And I never understood for a long time when people said, "Oh, I draw because I have to, because if I don't, my
Mm,
mind goes." And
mm,
I get that now. I think like and it still doesn't mean I do it all the time. Still means there's times where I'm like, "Oh God, I just can't bring myself to do this." But I know if I do it, I feel better. And it's taken me a long time. I'm 48. It's taken me, I'd say, probably since my late 30s, early 40s to work all that out. And in a way, it's stripped away a lot of the safety. It's stripped away a lot of that ignorance because I didn't know.
mhm.
And yes, I had the anxieties, but now there seems to be, I don't know, it seems like I've opened up a whole new can of worms, and it's trying to put all that into place. And I think that is very much what stage I'm at, what act I am in at the moment. It's trying to go, right, I feel this, I think this, I do this, you know, how can I make sense of all that? How can I create a safety knowing all this now? Whereas
Yeah.
20 years ago, I didn't know any of that. So it was like everything's fine.
So, thank you for sharing that. Um, I relate, and what I'm relating to is the transition from not really knowing to a knowing, like a
Mhm.
heightened sense of awareness. Excuse me. Or quite simply, having an awareness around what's going on, right? Now, I think the most important thing for me was to um, be guided in that process of exploration. Like I was sharing about being on the boat with Henry and Callum and that. You know, if I'd been on that boat on my own, oh my days, I'm not sure I'd be standing there talking to you right now. Um, so, who have we got? Who have we got in our lives to help us make sense of our lives?
Mm,
It's really important.
mm,
So anyone listening, this is for you guys. Who have you got? Don't matter where you are with the safety thing. I was sharing how I feel about that, and I feel I've got trust, I've got faith, I feel safe, secure, and it's a beautiful thing. But I have people in my life that sustain it.
mm,
Me on my own, yeah, I still feel like that because me on my own in nature, I've got a really beautiful relationship with nature where I feel held and safe. I think that's what I meant earlier about, I just in life, I feel like life holds me.
right.
Like, you could go outside of nature and life in general and just say, the universe has my back, as they say, you know what I mean? But it's that. It is that. And so I know, if I woke up today and there was like, there's no one, it's like them films 28 days later. I think the new one's out now, isn't it? 28 years
Yeah,
later.
I saw it last week.
Oh, you can tell me about that. I'm not sure I can watch those sort of films because
No, I don't think it's for you. It's too day
no,
film.
no, they wobble my brain too much, man. I have a brain melt when I watch scary shit. But I'm too much of I'm too hypersensitive. But
It's
I
it's a DG, Dave guidance, and it's
oh
Dave
god, yeah,
guidance.
then I can't go. But someone else asked me to go actually, with a group of friends. I was like, I can't do it.
No.
Sorry. But um, oh, I've lost my trail of thought. Where was I going with that? So um. I was talking about 28 days. Oh, yeah. So if I woke up and it was that scenario where there's no one,
Okay.
there's
You're
no one.
you're you're predicting a zombie apocalypse, yeah?
Yes. But if it was that, I feel like, I always say this to the young mavericks. Again, I say this to people, what would you do in that situation? You've got to be okay in life where you feel you've got it. If you woke up one day and there's no support groups, there's no mentors, there's no teachers or guides or anyone. It's just you and a dog and the open road. Like,
You and a cat, but you and Rupert.
yeah,
So
me and Rupert, it'd be like Puss in Boots. And it's like, and it's that post-apocalyptic situation, which, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying if it did happen, would you be okay? Or are you completely dependent on all those elements to be okay in life? Now, again, it gets back to, I think that I want to be in a place where I know I'm okay, which I feel like I would be. I'd get by. It'd be hard, but I know I'd
mm,
be all right. And it might not end well, but it'd be okay. It'd be all right. And it's just that sort of sense of trust and faith and all the good stuff I'm talking about. So, but if you are hugely dependent on other people to be okay, then, is that you externalizing your sense of safety and security within your life? Is that codependency? I don't know. Am I
yeah,
reading too much into that? I don't know. But in the same way, we do need people. It's really key. We do need guides to get us to a point where we can be okay on our own. I think that's the point I'm making.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think I was reading something the other day about art and and making stuff is ideas was the concept. I just thought it was a really lovely way of putting it. Is that you know I get obsessed with this idea of of a painting having to be absolutely perfect and absolutely what it was meant to be in my head. And actually, it's a concept, an idea. It's a starting point. It's a connection and it's a communication in it. And I just love that idea of anything. Like you could do the same with music. You could say, right, oh, till I've got the 100-piece orchestra on top of this and the brass and have mixed it to death for a year, I'm not going to release it. When actually, the little recording you've done in your bedroom with your
Oh, I
guitar,
love it.
yeah,
I love it.
so many times you hear a track and you think that is beautiful, and then
Yeah.
they mix it and
Oh,
add other stuff, and you're like, oh, it's awful now.
yeah. Fuck off with your polished fucking production, man.
Yeah,
Like, that's just my personal
yeah,
preference. Like,
man, my
sorry if I'm offending anyone if you've got polished production, but fuck off. Like, lo-fi, raw, Daniel Johnson
yeah,
vibes. Is it Daniel Johnson?
it is. I remember the first time I heard him, I had oh, what was it? Artistic Vices.
Yeah,
Um, and I had the album and I put it on a cassette tape. And I remember I must have been about 14, 15 because we were going somewhere as a family. So I said to my parents, put the tape, you were in the car, and I said, I'll put this tape on, I really like this album. And they were just like, what is this? This is awful. This man cannot sing. I was like, well, that's kind of the point, is that
yeah.
he's in his bedroom with his guitar or his Casio keyboard, and he's just making these beautiful songs.
On a tape deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sending them to his mates or to whichever woman he's in love with. There was, he's
They're
just
great.
they're incredible.
And he's such a legend. And
Yeah.
he's sadly not with us anymore.
Mm. I saw him live once. And any time you went to see him, it was a bit like you never knew quite what was going to happen because his mental health was so
Yeah,
ill.
yeah.
But yeah, he was incredible.
Where did you
But
see him? Where did you see him?
it was the O2 has got like a smaller venue attached to it,
Yeah, I
and it
know.
was there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I can't remember how many years ago it was. Well, obviously quite a few because he died 2, 3 years ago now, 4 years
Yeah.
ago.
That's a great space to see him because you can get close enough,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not too. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And he had loads of various famous, well, indie famous
Yeah, yeah,
musicians with him, helping him. It was a really beautiful night. But yeah, I think he's incredible, and I do love that low fineness. And
yeah. I love it.
I mean, talking of safety, I mean, there's a man whose mental health was torturing him, and not
Mm.
sure he ever felt particularly safe.
Well, paranoia comes to mind when there's chemical, which I believe there was influence in the story of anyone.
Mm,
And I had that, for me, I feel insecure, early life insecurity, but then there's some paranoia that started to creep in, and that comes with, dabbling in psychoreactive chemicals and all sorts. So, but forgive me if I'm wrong in saying that. I've watched the film documentary on him. Have you seen it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The bit that I always remember is the plane. They're flying back from somewhere, and his dad can fly, so his dad and him are flying in a plane, and he loses it, and he grabs the controls off his dad, and they end up crashing. and they both survived.
Oh, yeah,
But
God.
that's the bit I always remember. I'm like, because his dad starts telling it, and obviously he's really emotional because this
Yeah,
horrendous accident happened. But you're just like,
yeah.
how did they survive?
What's that film called?
Something like, is it The Misadventures of Danny Johnson?
No, no, I don't think that doesn't sound right. Anyway, if anyone is intrigued about what we're talking about, go. I really encourage you to. If you want to watch a beautiful, beautiful film on some beautiful soul, he was such a beautiful soul and a huge talent and hugely misunderstood.
Yeah,
But it's so prevalent for these times because of the whole
The Devil and Daniel Johnston.
there we go, the devil in Daniel Johnson, and there's a clue in that name because he was tortured soul,
Yeah, he was.
and it's a really beautiful, heartbreaking piece of work where it really shows the full capacity of the decline of something so beautiful, and it's so
Mm,
sad, and it's a great loss. But his work's out there forever,
yeah,
and thank God we got it. And
yeah.
and you may judge it and go, this is crap, but that's your interpretation of it, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think he's just one of those classic outsiders. It
Yeah.
just did it. His drawings, his drawings are great. They're completely bonkers. He's obsessed by comics, and he creates all these incredible sort of characters, and then all these beautiful songs. And there literally is hundreds. I mean, he did so many tapes of what he was doing.
Love it, love it, love it. Right, so look, I've finally got safe in the dictionary. It's telling me all this time to
I
find
thought you
it.
found it earlier. Did you not?
Right, I did. I just put the book down.
Oh, okay.
Right, so oh, it says so it's got safe, and then underneath it, safeguard, safe house, safekeeping, safe seat, safe sex.
Ooh.
Why is that in a dictionary? I mean, why shouldn't it be in the dictionary? Gotta make sure we advocate
I
for
did
that.
think that when I was looking at the S's earlier, there was no mention of the sex word.
Why would what how would we put it in there?
Sexy.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Just another S I was thinking of earlier. I don't know why I was thinking of.
That's another one to do on the
Yeah,
um
the late night TBR.
midnight transmissions of TVR. It's midnight hour. We got to talk like that. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
we've got really husky voices on it.
okay, today we're doing S. We're gonna do sexy. Sexy time. So Ben, how do you relate to sexy time? Right, anyway, so safe in the book of words, right? Protected from danger or risk, not leading to harm or injury, and it's in brackets of a place, giving security or protection based on good reasons and not likely to be wrong. It's a safe bet that you, oh no, it's a safe bet that they won't sell.
What?
Mm. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I just thought I'd read it because I said I'd read it.
Well, the word that just keeps on coming through from that was protection.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do
yeah.
you feel that you have the protection you need? Do you?
Mm.
And I think the protection for me feels like a set of tools, and they are things that you can do yourself. But I think it's really important that like you were talking about earlier, is part of that set of tools is people you feel safe with, people you know are going to protect you regardless of what is happening. They're going to have your back whether you're there or not.
Mm.
And I think for me that's something that is really difficult. I don't. It's really difficult for me, and I don't know if this is some anyone can relate to this. But for me, growing up, I grew up in. My dad worked in a very creative industry, which meant we were we were surrounded by creative people growing up.
Debauchery.
Yeah, and I would say for me, my experience of creative adults growing up was that they were always teetering on the edge, and they would promise, overpromise, and underdeliver. So my trust in adults growing up was like, yeah, you said you're going to do this, but you're not. So, and I just wonder whether as humans, like whether we have that security, whether we can say, there's that thing where you can, I think it's in therapy. I think someone's talked to me about this, about the idea of, you have the five people on your hands, the five
Mhm.
fingers. Who are those five people?
Yep.
And really that should be, not that that's it, you can know hundreds of people, but you should have five people that you can absolutely rely on and call upon if the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
And i and i wonder whether people I wonder how many people can actually say they have those five people that absolutely they know they can depend on.
It's a beautiful thing. Um, I remember me and Joe from Amy Winehouse Foundation when we were doing schoolwork together when I was still working with them. Um, we'd go into schools and do the whole social media thing with the young people.
Hmm.
And I remember Joe used to say it because we used to do this thing where we'd just, we'd unpack social media and what it means to the young people, and it means a lot to them, as we know.
Hmm.
It's everything for some of them, and it would be we'd sort of analyze without them feeling like they're being judged. It was coming from a place of non-judgment, of course, but we were engaging and doing workshops. And I remember on this occasion it was a whole year group. And you know the work we do because we've been in done it with you at your
Mm.
schools. But it's the whole year group. It must have been I don't know 120, 130 students, whatever. And we went through the whole. We did the social media followers game, if you want to call it that. So it's like right, everyone stand up. Right, okay, if you've got less than 100 followers, sit down. This isn't about making people feel humiliated. We personally are coming from a place, if you've got less than 100, we salute you. You're fucking badasses. Right. So people would sit down. Some would say, I haven't got social media. Right. So they're out. And you go through it, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. And there's one dude remaining who proclaimed to have like over, I don't know, 35,000 followers or something insane. He was about 13 years old or whatever, 14.
He's now a multimillionaire. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And Joe went to town on him
Right.
because he was standing there all peacock, he was at the swagger and he was just like, whether he was fabricating those numbers, fudging those numbers or not, we don't know, but he proclaimed to have them.
Hmm.
And Joe said, mate, just want to ask you a question, right? If shit hits the fan for you, right? If you had to put a fucking post out to all of those 35,000 people that you really need help, and you want to talk about something, or you just need help and you're asking them 35,000 people for help, how many of them would step up? And he had to think about it because it kind of done him in a little bit, that
Hmm.
that truth, that sucker punch of the reality of that statement Joe was hitting him with. Because in all seriousness, I think you give it all the bravado. Yeah, yeah, pretty much all of them actually, mate.
Hmm.
It's like, all right, Joe. Joe was like, all right, mate, that's cool. You can sit down now. But it's like, you know, in all reality, like what you're saying, how many of all of those people in your life really genuinely would step up if you asked for help? How many of them could you feel you could ask for help? More importantly, because it's all being well having all these people around them, but if you can't actually articulate, I need help, I don't feel safe in my life, I need support. I'm going through some stuff right now, and I need the troops.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you only need, like you say, you only need a couple of homies, you know, out of, if you've got five and two of them are actually there instantly and the other three turn up a bit later on. You're good, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think there is a I think there's a real endemic of loneliness because of what you said, because people are digitally connected as opposed to physically connected. And I also think it's symptomatic of us as humans is that we're never quite sure who we can rely on. Sorry, I'm making that a general statement. I'm never quite sure. I'm never quite sure. I was never quite sure who I could rely on. And it wasn't until I got older that I looked back and saw that, which is what I was talking about earlier about that idea of I thought I was in a fairly safe position. I
Mm,
thought I came from a place of safety when actually there was, in terms of needs being met, there was a lot of gaps, and there was a lot of insecurity around what is actually, who can I rely on? Who can I rely on in a crisis? Who's going to come through for me?
mhm,
And I don't know if that's being young. I don't know if, and I read a lot about young people now saying that that they're just lonely. They don't know who they've got. They don't know how to make friends. They don't know how to sustain friendships. So that feeling of being isolated, and I think is more prevalent than it ever has been. And I get it. I get that. Where is my tribe?
mm,
And I don't think until you really settle on who you are and what sort of attributes you're gonna say, these are the things this is me. I think it's very difficult to find your tribe.
mm,
And otherwise you're just sort of following in, and you're then prone to being taken somewhere you might not want to be. Whether that's into situations where you don't feel safe, into circumstances where you're making choices where it's the wrong choice to make, but you'll do it anyway
mm.
because you want to fit in. And yeah, I think it's really important that we find ways to make young people feel empowered and confident in who they are, so that they then can make empowered, confident choices in terms of who they choose to be with.
Yeah.
And I think, I think there's a lot of power in youth. There's a lot of incredible young people doing incredible things, but I don't know that they're doing it in a way that's connected. They're doing it in a virtual way.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So what's come up for me, I've been holding out, holding out, holding out, and I finally was able to rent off of a certain platform a movie that I've been holding out for, and it's
Okay.
John Lennon. I love him so
Hmm.
much. And with Yoko Ono, and it's called One to One.
Yeah, yeah, I've
Seen it?
seen it. Yeah, yeah,
It's been out a while. You could buy it, but I didn't want to buy it at the price it was offering, so I waited for it to be on a rental. And it's that good that I'm going to buy it now
yeah.
because it's going to go in my collection. I've got certain things that I want to buy. Because at one point, what I want to do is unsubscribe from I just want to get rid of that platform. I want to get rid of all platforms, but just have they're the bought ones. Like, same as it's like DVDs or tapes.
Do
Oh,
you still have
video.
a DVD player, a Blu-ray player?
No,
Okay.
feel like I need one in my life. I want to go, I want to do that, man. I'm sick of freaking subscribing. Fucking,
Last
Anyway,
time I bought a Blu-ray player, I went to a certain shop where you buy hardware goods.
uh,
I said, "Have you got a Blu-ray player?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "We might have
ooh,
one left."
ooh.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
literally that. He's like, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "We might have one in stock." And it was like he literally had to go back, and like, his thing came through covered in dust. It's like
wicked.
you said, I just think, having the physical media there means, I can pick that film up, I can
Oh,
put it in, and it's
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's like going into someone's house and looking at their collection and going, "Oh, you got this? Oh, amazing!" And you just pull it out and watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, we need to get back to that. I really do.
Mm.
I really do. I just want to, yeah. Anyway, so one to one, amazing,
Yeah, it's
really
beautiful,
amazing.
beautiful film.
You've seen it,
Mm,
so you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay,
mm.
so I'm going to buy it because it had such a profound effect. I watched it night before last, and it really hit me hard. Like I was like, what? You know, the performance he did. I love his performance. It's the only live performance I've ever seen of the version of I forgot what the song's called. It's off his first or second solo album, Mother.
I can't
Um,
remember. I'm not very good at song
it's about a
titles.
song about his mum and dad,
Right,
and he's doing like on. It doesn't show it on the film clip, but on the actual recording of it, he's doing primal screaming at the end of the song.
right.
It's so powerful. It's like, whoa. Anyway, point is, reason I'm saying this, what came up for me was in that movie, as you can see, it's that 2 years where he's in the loft apartment and they've got the TV at the foot of the bed and they've got that square box, which is like a portal. And he kind of does appear to be quite into,
Yeah.
um, it's like he's sucked into that. It's like he goes into the oblivion of the TV world in America. And I think they only had 3 channels at that time in the early 70s.
Okay.
But there was like a lot of content and it was very provocative. There was a mashup of Americana commercials trying to sell stuff that you probably don't need. And then it was like, you know, all of the political landscape that was being, you know, spewed out of the TV set. So he was absorbing all that. And you could tell his music reflected what he was
Mm,
absorbing,
mm,
and it was touching him and he was forcing him to get involved with certain political movements and things, and you know he started to really want to, and then things started to get a bit sketchy for him. His safety started
mm,
to get a bit compromised because he was becoming a bit of a inconvenience to certain people because he was challenging, you know, he was all about, he says it in the movie about the youth, the young people. What you're saying about they're not apathetic. They may have choose to be or appear to be apathetic to what's going on in the world. They're not. They care,
mm,
but we've got to do it differently, people. You know, we've got to come together and create what he did. The whole film's around the concert.
mm.
Let's get everyone together. Let's get everyone together. It's like a group hug. We all need a group hug right now,
Yeah, yeah.
is what I got from that film. And John was like integral in orchestrating that. And
Mm.
I'm not being funny, but fucking hell, he got shot. I mean, it's like, anyway. So group group hug,
Yeah.
group hug, and that's kind of where we're at now. And I was thinking that when watching the film, like 1971, 70, 71, 72, whatever that it played out around about then.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what 50 years or 54 years, whatever
Mm.
ago. And I'm like, I was thinking, reflecting on it, going, "Wh- where we're at now, where that was at, where we're at now.
Yeah.
Like they're in conflict, wars, you know, just and where we're at now.
Mm.
The fuck, man. And we need a group hug. And like at least then they were having it. They at least that's what they got. They could come together and feel safe in numbers, safety in numbers. The young people that felt they were struggling and disconnected, but they came together, and it was come through the medium of music, and that's beautiful. And I just wish we had something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think whatever conspiracy you put on top of it, I do think we have created a society now where we are more separate than we ever have been, and it's more isolationary. I think people just feel alone and they feel a little bit trapped and unheard. And I do think there is, there is that idea that somehow we need to find a more organic, more natural, more analog way of coming together,
Mm.
whether that's a concert or whether that's a march or whether that's a, you know. a meeting, whatever it is, but it just feel people in a room looking each other in the eyes, or not if you're not, you can't do that, but just being with people and finding ways of connecting.
So it all comes down to the same thing, which is, how do we do this? Now, there are people out there that, there's retreats, there's festivals, there's concerts, there's church, there's karate on a Thursday evening down your local hall, there's book club, sewing club, bridge club, the library, where you can, libraries are a beautiful coming together. There's your mate's barbecue at the weekend. There's the pub garden,
Hmm.
there's the shopping mall or shopping centre in the UK. Um, where are we getting our connection, our community, coming together? Is it in the rehearsal studio with your mates in your little garage band, your dad band, all of that stuff? Where are we coming together? And I feel like that's what we need, where we need to start. It's like, ask yourself, have I got that in my life? Well, if not, why? Do you need it? What can we do to starts with us? What can I do to get a sense of safety in numbers, safety in solo, me on my own, in a room on my own. Do I feel okay with that? Well, yeah. Is it sustainable? Not really. If I had to, yeah, but I choose and need and want, desire to have human connection. So I have to make every concerted effort to connect to the other, the we. It's really important. Do you have a support group that you can be in attendance to have some guidance with your needs to support that? You know, is that um, in your life? If not, why not? It starts with us. Yeah, we need to reflect on all of this stuff, and hopefully, anything we've witted on about might, raise some contemplation on what we could do more to enhance and improve that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it's scary. It's scary walking into a room of people you don't know and you don't yet have any faith or trust in. But that that leap is what we need to do. We need to find a way of creating spaces where we do feel safe. And they need to be spaces with other people. It needs to be a space where, and that's not wanting to harp on about social media, but it's not a safe space. It's the Wild West. It's like so unregulated and so there's no boundaries. People can do whatever the hell they want, and no one seems to want to do anything about it. And
Mm.
so that is a really unsafe space. So find spaces where there aren't screens and it is more organic. And whether it's kicking a football around with a team of blokes and you go for a drink afterwards, I do think that's why shows like the Great Pottery Throwdown and the Sewing Bee are so popular because they are actual people doing stuff and making things together. And there is a real, every time you watch shows like that, the contestants, you can see they form a real, a real sort of family feeling about it.
Mm.
And I do think that's more of that sort of, that our movement towards craft and actual making stuff is really important to be
Mm.
tactile and to and be with other humans.
Yeah.
And I just think it is scary, and it's definitely something that that I've feared in my life is walking into a room with complete strangers. And but I also believe that most people aren't idiots and aren't there to harm you and
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
you out. And those people that are idiots and call you out, on the socials that don't tend to do it to your face. So even if they are thinking it, it's not going to happen in a group setting.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
just think it is. I do think it is about us finding community and finding spaces where we do feel safe together.
yeah, yeah. Agreed. Because the transition for me from feeling insecure and afraid and uncertain and unsafe in my life, that transition to get me to where I am now, where I feel the opposite and I feel safe and connected and, I belong, and all of that um, beautiful stuff that comes with that. um, Only was able to take place by connecting to the we.
Mm,
Um, and I was always surrounded by people, but I felt alone.
yeah.
There's a loneliness to not feeling secure in your life. So, yeah, if there's anything that come out of what we've discussed, I think it's, it always comes back to, where am I at within all of this? Where do I place myself? Does this relate to me, or do I recognize it in someone else? Can I see that someone is displaying signs or obvious signs, or maybe they're very subtle, that they don't seem or appear to be very secure, um, and they don't seem to trust. And how can we help them with that? It's a tough one because
Mm,
there's a lot of barriers. And some of them are conceptual barriers, some of them are physical barriers. But sometimes we've just got to break through that and bring people into our you know um, our care.
yeah. I mean, I think it's. I mean, it's really simple. I mean, it's animalistic. You watch videos online of wild animals. Cats that have been left feral. And
Mm.
you watch these people go and rescue them, and the cats are just literally trying to claw their eyes out. And then 6 months later, you see this cat groomed and beautifully manicured, and it's still lying on someone's lap, and it's totally happy, and it trusts humans again.
Yeah,
And I think that that is where we're at the moment. There's a lack of trust in other humans, and so what people do is they lash out. They are cruel. They are. I'm gonna get him first.
yeah,
I'm gonna be horrible before someone's horrible to me,
yeah,
because that's seems to be the world we live in.
yeah,
I'm gonna shout the loudest and see if
yeah,
that gets me where I want to be. And I just think it's about recognizing that in some people. It's about
yeah,
recognizing, okay, you obviously feel really unsafe if that's how you're behaving,
yeah,
rather than, oh my God, you're a despicable human being because this is the way you're acting.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, who's hurt you?
yeah.
Simple as that.
I
Like,
love that.
what's going on? And yeah, I just think we need to find a little bit more faith in humanity again.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know why I just thought of this. Well, I do because what you just shared, but um, I watched. Do you remember David Blaine?
The magician.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like him. I'm watching a show. He's done I think there's six of them from different parts of there's Asia, um, India. He's in these different parts of the world culturally, and he's meeting these people. I've forgotten what it's called, and I've forgotten what. I'm not going to say what channel it's on, but anyway, it's David Blaine. It's quite a more recent thing that he's done, and he's facing fear. As always, he's facing how he can, you know, put himself into a situation which isn't safe, and coming through it and overcoming it. And it's mindset. It's what I'm watching. It's all about mindset, which is what we started with, what I started with was mindset. So I'm going to end it on mindset. Um, and the highlight that I saw, the standout thing for me was this king cobra that he watched someone else, this Thai guy. No, sorry, he was Indonesian. apologise. He was in Indo, but they ended up in Thailand doing. David Blaine had to do it in Thailand because they didn't have the antidote in Indonesia. So if he got bit, he would die. So
Right.
they had to
Okay.
do it in Thailand because it's illegal to have the antidote in Thailand.
Okay.
So they went to Thailand to do it. But he was being trained by this sort of guy. So he had guidance,
Right.
right? So this guy was guiding him. Couldn't do it on his own. If David Blaine tried to kiss the cobra, I'm not sure he would. His stuntman was saying no.
No.
Right, but he did it. He managed to kiss the cobra on the head.
Okay.
Now you probably think, how did he do that? Well, he used his. It was all to do with mindset, and he was breathing because he's very into the breathing part, like bringing his body into regulating his body into a safe place,
Mm.
so that his somatic response and his psycho response is really in tune. It's almost like he has to remove himself from it and just be part of, become the snake, if that makes sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
and face it. It's really amazing. I'd encourage anyone to just punch in David Blaine kissing a king cobra's head, and you'll find it. Go and watch it. It's amazing. It's freaking incredible. But that's what come up for me. Sometimes in life, use that as a metaphor. How do we kiss the king cobra on the head?
I mean, that makes me think of the horse kissing you on the head that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
I think it does. I think the animals. Uh, I know that horses intuit. They're natural empaths, so they'll intuit how you feel. I
exactly.
think that's the same. Well, most animals, but it's like how are you responding to the animal in the first place? Is how the animal is going to respond to you.
Exactly. It's so symbolic.
Yeah.
And the way he did it, if anyone just watch it, don't take my word for it. I trust me when I say this though, that he made peace. He was literally, you know, making peace with the snake in order to be able to go in and kiss it on the top of the head. It's incredible. It's a massive
Mm.
feat of it's very bold to do that. Um so are we able to kiss life on the head?
Yeah.
Make peace with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh anyway.
Nice. That's a nice place to end.
Okay. Right on. So, Mr. Rice, how'd you feel? How'd you feel that went?
I feel that went well. I feel safer. I feel safer. I
Good.
feel yeah. I feel I was in a place of unrest this morning, even though I had slept, but I felt
Mm,
I felt uneasy, and I feel more content now. So definitely feel safer. So thank you
good.
for that conversation. That was good.
No worries. I'm gonna go for a walk this afternoon. There's a lot of cows around where I live, so I'm gonna maybe try the David Blaine mindset skill of kissing a cow on the head.
Okay. Is there the anecdote if a cow bites you in your local area, you're going to be all right?
It'd be all right. I'll just go and run and knock on a farmer's door and go, "Help me! Your cow's bitten me."
Yeah.
I might do it with a ball. I'm gonna
Okay.
kiss a ball on the head. I'll
Yeah.
report
Yeah.
back. I'll report back.
Yeah. Please keep safe.
All right, man. Until the next one.
Until the next one. Take care, my friend.
Take it easy, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
Laters.